Check your phone. Shalom, Israel. This is Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge. We've been on these streets trying to teach our people since 1969 to not follow the ways of oppressors, to not go into the ways of the Gentiles. But we go to the lost sheep of the house of Israel. And what do? We tell these lost sheep of the house of Israel how to properly guide their houses, how to properly fix the black and Hispanic house, and how to properly keep it in order. Matter of fact, that's the first scripture I want. Give me 1 Corinthians 11 and 3. You got sound?
I'm checking out.
Con, check this out on YouTube. Brother Brandon, if you could get that for me. 1 Corinthians 11 and 3. Okay, go read.
1 Corinthians chapter 11, verse 3. But I would have you know.
Now stop. Who's talking in 1 Corinthians? Who's the author of 1 Corinthians? Con.
Is it Paul?
Yes. Paul authored all the letters to the churches and such. Paul is the person talking. But Paul would have you know. Why am I saying this? Because Christians like to misuse Paul and what Paul said to defend their evil. Paul said the law is done away with. Paul was only talking about the enforcement agency that handled the law. We're good? Paul was only talking about the enforcement agency that handled the law. Just like I say, I'm on the run from the law. The United States Constitution is not chasing me down the street. But the cats whose job it is to defend the United States Constitution and enforce it, they're referred to as the law. It was no different in the scriptures. There were people whose job it was, mainly the priests, to keep law. Okay? People try to use these things to go say Paul was against the Old Testament, or that Paul tried to say the Old Testament was done away with, and everything that was taught before time wasn't substantial anymore. However, Paul's the one who said, whatsoever things were written aforetime were written for our learning in the book of Romans. Okay, so read that from the top. But I would have you know.
But I will have you know.
I want you to know this. Keep going.
That the head of every man is Christ.
The head of every man is Christ. What does that mean?
That every man should take his orders from Yahushua. Follow Yahushua's ways. That's his higher up.
Right. Every man should take orders from Yahushua. Every man should take orders from the men of Yahushua. Okay? Meaning what? When you're listening to Peter, when you're listening to Paul, when you're listening to any of the disciples or the prophets and so on and so forth, you are listening to Christ. Okay? Keep going.
And the head of the woman is the man.
The what?
The head of the woman is the man.
The what?
The head of the woman is the man.
The head of the woman is the man. The one who's in charge of men is Christ. Christ tells men how to live and how to dictate themselves. The one who's over the woman is the man. The man tells the woman how to dictate herself and how to carry herself. Okay, that's what this is saying. Okay, keep going.
And the head of Christ is God.
And the word, the head of Christ, meaning where Christ gets his authority from, where Christ gets his ideals from, where Christ gets his law from, is the Most High. That's the order of a household. The problem is, your Christian church has you thinking your woman can do whatever.
Right.
The Christian church has you thinking your woman can just run her mouth. Christian church has you thinking that a woman can kick her man about the house and can divorce her husband. All of these are evil things that lead to evils going on in our communities. Now drop that, give me 2 Timothy 3 and 1. Okay? Run y'all, read it when y'all got it.
Second, Akim.
Yo, Khan, you got it? Khan. 3 and 1.
2 Timothy chapter 3, verse 1. This know also, that in the last days,
perilous
times shall come.
What is perilous times? Does anybody know? Khan. Show.
Plagues.
Plagues, right? Plagues are gonna come.
Famine.
What else? Famine, right? What else? Khan.
Rumors of war and nations rising against nations.
Rumors of war, nations rising against nations. What else?
Natural disasters.
Natural disasters. What else?
Come on, come.
Okay, these are all basically good.
Men leaving the truth.
Men leaving the truth. Okay, Most High encourage.
Murders, lying.
Most High encourage. What else? What else? Perilous ways. What else? Sins. Everything you see going on today. Perilous times are coming at the end. Keep going.
For men shall be lovers of their own selves, covetous.
Men shall be lovers of their own selves, covetous. What does covetous mean? What does it mean to be covetous? Come.
To have a wanting of something that belongs to someone else.
Most High in Christ. You have a want of something, right? Okay, so what's it called? You have a want of something, a great want of something. So in these last days, men shall be lovers of their own selves. What does that mean? Men shall be lovers of their own selves. And here, more importantly, is that only talking about men?
Oh, Salakia. You said men shall be lovers of themselves?
Of their own selves, yeah. Brandon?
Just leaning to your own understanding and just...
Not leaning to your own understanding. Somewhat. Sure, what are you going to say?
The lack of brotherhood, sir?
A lack of brotherhood, but give me more. Lovers of their own selves.
Meaning that in perilous times they would each man for themselves. They wouldn't care for another brother. They wouldn't help.
If you could give me a scripture or a precept, I'll take that, but give me a little more. Deuteronomy 28:54. His eyes shall be evil towards his brother, and the wife of his bosom, and his children which he shall leave behind. He's a lover of himself. That's talking about these cats who cats who don't care about the next brother. Cats, I just had an argument with a cat who refuses to believe that we're oppressed here in America. And that's a lot of our people. A lot of our people refuse to believe that we're oppressed in America or that we're oppressed, period. A lot of them be like, if you don't like it here, go somewhere else. Oh, why don't you go to Israel? We're oppressed in Israel. I had a whole conversation about how Demona is evil, how evil Demona is. You've heard of Demona, Israel? The brothers and sisters that moved over there? Okay, a bunch of idiots back in the 60s thought it was a good idea when they realized, we're Israelites, so let's move to Israel. The white man put them next to a nuclear power plant. And then didn't give them, mind you, this is in the 60s. They could not enter the physical borders of what's today called Israel until about the 70s or 80s. And then they were considered illegals up until 03 when they said, we'll give you residency, leading to citizenship, you just have to fight in our army. Okay? Lovers of them, and those cats are lovers of themselves. That's what a lover of themselves does. A lover of themselves thinks about the fact, the Bible said, well, let's gather together, but I'm going to go run to Israel while my people are starving in the ghettos. You ran to Israel right around the time the heroin epidemic was starting to get big. You ran to Israel right when our people were starting to question integration and segregation, and we were all up in a muck. That's where you ran to. Okay? You had a love for yourself. Okay? You didn't have a love for our people. Okay? Keep reading. Covetous.
Covetous.
Now, what does that mean? They're covetous. What do all these cats covet? Okay? All these cats covet, all these cats covet some type of honor. All these cats covet some type of riches. Okay? Like you got this idiot what's called, you got people going around saying that you can be snitches, that you can be police, that you can be in this military. That's wrong. Okay? He gained something by doing that. He gained something by going over there and lying to Africans, trying to tell Africans that there are people. Okay? He gained something by telling people that it's okay to rape women. That's what these people are gaining. Your Christian pastor gained something by telling you the law is done away with. That's what they gain. They gain something by that's all it's about. They have a want to gain. Keep going.
Boosters.
Boasters. What is a boaster? Oh, look at how much numbers IUIC has. Jeremiah Hyman said this. Well, if God is with the person with numbers, then damn, the Christian church is with God. God is with the Christian church. You know how many Christians there are? You know how many Muslims there are?
Right.
But at the end of the day, numbers don't matter. God is hardly ever with numbers.
Right.
As in the larger number. Okay, God is usually with the smaller number. Okay? Okay, that's what a boaster is. Someone who thinks they're so great and so big. Okay? Read.
Proud, blasphemous.
Proud and blasphemous. Okay? What does that mean? Proud blasphemers. What is a proud blasphemer? Come.
Someone who's just self-centered, all about themselves and talking bad on the scripture and making his own rules.
Okay, what is a blasphemer? Just so we're aware.
Blasphemy is speaking the words, Lord, and twisting them around?
No. What is a blasphemer, Shaw?
I was going to say the same thing, and I remember you giving the correct breakdown a while ago.
What is a blasphemer? You know?
Blasphemy.
A blasphemer, or to blaspheme, simply means to insult. Someone who insults God. Okay, and here's what you have to understand. People think insulting God is God stupid, F God, so on and so forth, something like that. We don't serve a vagina. Like, my God is not a coward. Like, he can handle, when you tell God, F God, he's looking at you like, I know when you're going to die right now. I know exactly how and when you're going to die. I don't care if you say F me. Like, what is that? How does that hurt my feelings? You know what it does? You know what he does feel some way about, though? I do a miracle in your presence, and you say something other than God did it. That's insulting God. That's an insult to God. Okay? What does it mean in this instance, a blasphemer? God isn't with the eyes should be carried. That's a blasphemy. Okay? What does it mean to be proud? Going around calling yourself the goddamn comforter. That's what it means to be proud. Okay? Keep going. A proud blasphemer. He goes and insults the Most High by breaking up what's called his house. Okay? Keep going.
Disobedient to parents.
Disobedient to parents. Now read that again.
Disobedient to parents.
What are we here to talk about today? Come.
Mother's Day.
Mother's Day. This is okay. This is about Mother's Day. We're gonna run this back, and I'm gonna show you something. But disobedient to parents. What does it mean to be disobedient to parents? What's called RHEA set a certain standard, right, for the school. The standard that he did not create. A standard that was passed down to him by the men before him. A wicked bastard went and abused RHEA in his old age, okay, what's called for his own personal gain, for his own covetousness, so that he could be proud, he could be boastful, and that he could blaspheme. What's going on, brother? So he could blaspheme, so he could blaspheme what's called the work that was done before him. He insulted that work, okay? He disobeyed his father and the work that was laid down. Keep going.
Unthankful.
Unthankful, meaning what? These cats are so unthankful for that Commander General YAHANNA and the men before him saved their lives. Right. They're so unthankful that they go out and they try to create their own goddamn group. They try to create their own goddamn thing. Right. That's what this is about. Okay, now we're gonna go back to the top of this verse and we're gonna pull it back. Now, is this only talking about men? No, this can be talking about women. I went through women and I used a certain just two. Now I went through men first and I used a certain type of example, mainly these fake camps as an example. But this can go for your pastor. This can also go for a woman. In perilous times, this is what you'll find with women. Read 2 from the top.
2 Timothy chapter 3, verse 2. For men shall be lovers of their own selves.
Women are such lovers of their own selves. Women kill babies because they want a good college education.
Right.
That's how much a woman loves herself. She will kill a child. Keep going. Covetous. Covetous means to want. Your woman has a whole closet full of shoes because she is covetous. Keep going.
Boasters.
Boasters. Why does she have this closet full of shoes? So everybody can see her in the shoes. And then guess what? She doesn't like the shoes anymore once she sees your wife wearing the shoes as well. Keep going.
Proud.
Proud. Our women are so proud. They see the conditions of the black community and can't put 2 and 2 together that single mothers cause this. Why? Because of pride. They have too much pride. Keep going.
Blasphemers.
Blasphemers. They insult the Most High by thinking they can be the mommy and the daddy. They insult the Most High when they say, I don't need you. I can kick you out the house and get Section 8, so on and so forth. That's an insult to the Most High. Why? Because we read in 1 Corinthians, we're in 2 Timothy 3 and 2. God. We read in 1 Corinthians, in 1 Corinthians 11 and 3, God put an order for the house. When you go against that, you insult God. You're saying my way isn't good enough. Keep going.
Disobedience to parents.
The what?
Disobedience to parents.
Okay, you got all these sisters that go against what's going on with our people. Now, here's the problem. Okay, our people, how do I say it? We as a people have been going against our parents every generation. Okay, and the problem is we have no true leadership. Okay, and that's the main problem with this holiday. Both men and women don't listen to their goddamn parents. Yet, to put up some lie because your adversary told you to or your oppressor told you to, you're going to front like that's the case. Okay, keep going.
Unthankful. Unholy.
Unthankful. Women think that a man is supposed to do whatever for them. Women think that their mom is supposed to do whatever for them. At the end of the day, no. You should be thankful for the things that are happening to you. And what does unholy mean? Come.
To acknowledge and want to be separate.
Give me a little more.
Doing what you want to do and going against being a blasphemer.
Falling into the ways of heathens.
Okay. Give me an example.
Strip clubs, abortions.
Okay, yeah, but give me a little more. What makes you separate? What makes you unholy? What makes you unholy?
Wanting to be an African and a
okay, these are all decent answers, but give me a little more. Give me something.
Getting with another heathen.
Getting with another heathen. Okay, I'm gonna give it to you. Mother's Day makes you unholy. Christmas makes you unholy. For going out on 4th of July dressed like a goddamn American flag makes you unholy. You're not separated. You're right up inside this nation. You're in the strip club, right up inside this nation. You're with the white man, right up inside this nation. You're Candace Owens saying that Ahmaud Arbery was not a racially charged incident. You're right up inside or inside of you. You are not separated. You are unholy. Keep going. Verse 3.
2 Timothy chapter 3, verse 3. Without natural affection.
What is natural affection? What is the natural affection a woman should have? What is the strongest bond a woman should have? Well, second strongest, really. But
I would say the natural affection would be to have a husband that's in her own nation.
Yes, but no.
To be a mother and a wife.
Yeah, give me a little more. It's a natural affection. What's natural? Come. Think about what we're talking about today. Stay on topic of today. Come. Y'all.
Without natural affection, they like women. Lesbians?
No. Come. What? That's what you're gonna say?
Lesbianism.
Come.
Trying to play daddy and just
Trying to play daddy? No. Affection. What is affection? Showing love. What's natural affection? Think about what we're talking about today. You want me to give it to you? Natural affection is me not killing my baby. That's natural affection. And unnatural affection is I need this job, so I'm going to kill a child. That's unnatural. In any other sentence, that would sound weird. I need a job, so I'm gonna kill a baby. Do you know how crazy you sound right now? But in this society, that's accepted. Okay? Keep going.
truce breakers.
Truce breakers. What does it mean, truce breakers? Khan.
Breaking covenants and backing out of the natural order.
Okay, give me a little more. In regards to a woman. Khan.
If I may, like the example we on right now, women are having abortions so they can go to college, have a better job, and put themselves before the things.
Well, but what's the truth they're breaking? Huh?
They have to. We need women to give birth.
No, that's not a truce though. A truce would be like a contract or a peace agreement. What's the truce they're breaking? First, Khan.
I would say breaking the promise to the Most High, which would be one in terms of doing abortions, dating heathen men, falling into customs, strip clubs, lesbianism.
Okay, but let's skip over that and breaking them. We all know that the minute you start saying what's called. But what does he mean by truce breakers? These women can't be trusted at their word. They're whores. I love you and I love only you. I'm not with that dude. You catching him? You're going to catch her with that other dude. She's going to abort the baby, not because she don't like you. She don't know which dude's baby it is. Okay, truce breakers, meaning what's called. She's not a woman of her word. She says one thing and does another. Okay, even what's called. Every time you have an argument, the argument ends. This will never happen again, babe. Come home the next night. Let's see what happens. The same thing happens again. Truce breakers. Okay, we're truce. It's a truce. We're at peace now. There is no peace. She's breaking that peace. Keep going.
False accusers.
False accusers. What does it mean to false accuse? Come on.
Liars. I don't want.
Give me a little more. I'm gonna let this brother take it. Come on.
Pointing fingers and making up stories about things you haven't seen, wasn't around for, just
Stay on top of what? Like what? Come on.
telling the man they love him, telling that man that's his
No.
baby, telling him.
No. Kinda, but no. Come. Shaw, you got it?
What's a lot, yo? Can you say that?
False accusers.
I'm trying to get the father out the house after finding out. So they're trying to get the husband out the house.
Okay.
After finding out that he's a wife. Oh, NYPD. He slapped me.
Right. That's exactly what it is. False accusation. False accuser. He slapped me. Oh my God, he's beat. We have all seen video of cats recording a woman while the woman's on the floor hitting themselves. Okay?
Salaki said, this happened back in the 40s, I believe. I keep forgetting
Right.
the brother's name that was falsely accused by that white woman for catcalling.
Emmett Till. Right. Gone.
Right.
Falsely accused. Right, and that's the main thing. I'm glad you brought that up. That's what it's come from. That's exactly what it's come from. Your woman is putting on the spirit of a white woman and a white man when she lies on you and calls the police.
Right.
Okay? That's what she's doing. She's putting on the spirit of our enemies. White people our oppressors call the police on us to get us killed. Now your woman is doing it. Okay? Keep going.
Incontinent.
Okay? Meaning she doesn't, hold up one sec. Okay, incontinent, meaning what? Hold on, I'm gonna get you the exact. What do y'all think that means? Huh?
Does it mean all right? Sloppy.
Huh? I'll give it to you. No, lack of self-control. You're what's called, these women out here have a lack of self-control. And because of it, you want to kill your baby. Why? Because you can't control your own legs.
Right.
Okay? You can't even control your own legs. You can't control the impulse to buy these shoes. You can't control the impulse to not go in his phone.
Right.
Okay? What's called, keep going. Fierce. Keep going.
Despisers of those that are good.
What's called, women hate other women that do right by their men. They don't understand it. They don't understand it. So that you know exactly what I'm talking about.
Like if I made like that story, like how we would hear from the like if it was a baby like sisters from the islands, they know how to take care of their men, but when they come here to America, the Jew women be like, bro, you cook for your husband?
Right. Yeah. Right, come on. Okay, you got a lot of that. Okay, and then when I wonder why they're married and the Judite sisters are whores.
Right.
I'm a Judite myself, I can say that. Okay, what's called? And then the sad thing is, Benjamin listens to Judah, and a generation later, now their daughters are whores.
Right.
Okay? The thing about it is, despisers of those that are good. They hate our women hate anything good. Your wife will leave you over the truth. Your wife will leave you over the fact that you will not allow her to dress like a whore. She will leave the relationship with a good man to find a man who will allow her to be a whore.
Right.
Okay, keep going.
Traitors.
Now stop. And here's the thing about it. They'll call you controlling, but here's the thing. The Bible just said you're incontinent, meaning you can't control yourself. Somebody needs to control you, you stupid ninny. You need to have somebody telling you what to do, because obviously you can't control yourself. You'll walk out here with your breast out, and the minute some idiot smiles at you, you'll be in the back of his pickup. You'll be in the back of his pickup because his Mercedes is in the shop. So he's just got this as a loaner. Here's the thing, that's his pickup. He has no Mercedes, and that's also where he lives. So when you're pregnant in a week and a half, don't run to me. The Most High is going to make sure your man finds out. And you're going to be stuck with the cat in the pickup truck. Or what? Or what's going to happen? You're going to be an evil whore, and you're just going to kill your baby.
Right.
When you should just do what? Shut up and love good things. Have self-control and love good things. Because you're showing you're incontinent, lacking self-control, and a despiser of those that are good. You hate anybody who tries to give you good advice. You'll cut off friends, female friends, because they try to lead you in the right direction.
Right.
Keep going.
Traitors.
Heady. What is a traitor? Candace Owens. Candace Owens is a traitor. Who else is a traitor?
Serena. One of the sisters.
Serena. Okay, who else?
Any woman that's not doing what the Most High said and messing with heathens.
Right, your grandma. Your grandma's a traitor. My grandma's a traitor. My mom is a traitor. My auntie's a traitor. Every woman I know is a goddamn traitor to this nation. Every man I know is a traitor to this nation. Okay, keep going. Heady. What is heady? Heady is like headstrong. Okay? You don't like to listen, you're hard-headed. You're heady. Okay? Women are so hard-headed, you got to tell them things 2-3 times. Okay, keep going.
High-minded.
High-minded, meaning what? What does a high-minded person think about? Khan.
Just all in yourself.
All on yourself. That's all you think about is yourself. You're high-minded. Keep going. That's a woman. Keep going.
Lovers of pleasure more than lovers of God.
Lovers of what?
Pleasure more than lovers of God.
They're lovers of pleasure more than lovers of God. That's every big-headed woman in the Christian church. Y'all love crab more than you love God. Because if you love God, you'd stop eating the crab.
Right.
If you love God, you wouldn't argue with your husband.
Right.
If you love God, you'd leave the Christian church. Hell, if you love God, you didn't shut up in the Christian church because the Bible says to.
Right.
Okay? Keep going.
Having a form of godliness, lacking, but denying the power thereof.
What does that mean? Come, Brandon.
Like being an Israelite sister and having the power installed inside of you and just ignoring it and doing
No. Who else?
Salaki, so what was the question again?
What does it break down the verse? Verse 5. Having a form of godliness. Shaw, you want to give it a try?
Having a form of godliness, meaning she thinks she has the power to have an abortion. Like it's her choice.
But where's the form of godliness come in?
Like she can make those decisions of whether she could.
Where's the form of godliness come in, though?
When it comes to her, she thinking that she has the power like the Most High.
Where does she get this power from? You want the answer? Con. Huh? What? Say it. Just say it.
Between her legs?
No. How
That's lucky.
no? Con.
And her work, sir.
No. Con.
from the heathens.
No. The Most High in Jesus gives her the power. The Most High in Jesus is the form of godliness that she has, but denying the power thereof. She has a form of godliness called the Christian church. They believe in Jesus, right?
God.
Don't they worship the Most High?
God.
But in there, what are they? Lovers of themselves, covetous, boasters, proud, blasphemers, disobedient to parents, unthankful, unholy, without natural affection. What's natural affection? My house burned down. Your pastor says, pray to Jesus. Natural affection is, you're my brother. I see you every Sunday. I can't let you starve. Here, we're going to work this out by the end of the day. Pray to Jesus. Okay? But denying the power thereof. The power thereof is the love that's born in this place says we have the power to fix your house. Instead, we're going to give Creflo Dollar to Jetto. We deny the power. Okay? They deny the power that says you have to stop eating pork. You have to stop eating shrimp, crab, and lobster. Having a form of godliness, they got the big hat. Bible says a woman's supposed to cover their head, right? So every woman in that Christian church has a big hat on that you could a gallon hat. You could fit 10 gallons of milk in there, right? But at the end of the day, deny the power thereof. Keep going.
From such turn away.
From such turn away. Don't even deal with them. Keep going.
For of this sort are they which creep into houses.
Of this sort are they which creep into houses. Okay, keep going.
And lead captive silly women.
And lead captive what?
Silly women.
And lead captive what?
Silly women.
Now, what is this talking about? Keep going.
Laden with sins.
Laden with sins. What is that talking about?
If I may the Christian churches and how they get in the woman's head and make her feel bigger than she is.
Okay, yes, the Christian church, but who specifically in the church? The preacher. Now, what is the laden with sin mean? Silly women laden with sin. Tom.
Just while he's speaking to her, he's encouraging everything that she's doing is wrong.
No, laden with sin means a lot of sin. Before the pastor, she wanted to leave her husband. Before the pastor, she wanted to eat pork. She wanted shrimp, crab, and lobster. She wanted to be a whore. She wanted an abortion. Okay, and that's not just her. That's her mama, and basically the grandma. The grandmother is evil, and I want to say something. She's killing her own grandchild because she's a lover of herself and does not want to sacrifice her money so that a child can be in this world. Con.
So like you said, this reminds me of a precept in Titus 1:16, also that kind of says something similar to that. You want me to bring it up?
Pull it.
All right. Titus chapter 1 verse 16. They profess they that know God, but in works they deny him, being abominable and disobedient, and unto every good works reprobate.
Most High in Christ, that's exactly right. Okay, they can profess to know God. Every Christian, every silly, stupid woman in that church knows Jesus, but don't know you're not supposed to eat pork. Okay, keep going.
Led away with diverse lust.
Led away with diverse, all different types of lust. I want to be a lesbian. I want to be, cheat on my man. I want to do this evil. I want to do that evil. I want to do this evil. At the end of the day, that's what these pastors allow you to do. One of my favorites, going back to these fake, which is another form of pastor. These, fake cats who want to call themselves Israelites. Man without jobs, that's that ish I don't like. That's Nate. This scripture is talking about Nate right here. Nate seduces silly women that don't want a man to have more than one woman.
Right.
That's what Nate does. Nate seduces silly women who are tired of the fact that you can't get a job. So they look for a man who will down you for not having one. And then they listen to him. And then they listen to him and take a husband or his suggestion, and come to find out one of the husbands is having sex with trannies, the other one is cheating on you, and then killed the girl he was cheating with, supposedly. Keep going.
Ever learning,
keep going.
And never able to come to the knowledge of the truth.
These cats has always got some new book. These cats is always trying to bring up some new ideal or whatever in their head, but they're never able to come into the knowledge of the truth. They're never able to see what's going on, what's truly happening. Okay? Drop that, give me Isaiah 58:1. You're trying to find me now.
I'll give heaven.
Come.
Isaiah chapter 58 verse 1. Cry aloud, spare not, lift up thy voice like a trumpet, and shew my people their transgression.
Okay, now what is this talking about? John.
The Most High telling you don't be scared to correct.
Give me a little more. What does the cry aloud mean? And ask me a question. Shaw, ask me the question. Ask me the question. Cry aloud. Ask me the question. We always get asked. Why y'all always yelling? The Bible says to. Cry aloud.
Right.
Keep going.
Lift up thy voice like a trumpet and show.
Oh, wait, read the next part. Cry aloud.
Cry aloud. Spare not.
What does that mean? Come.
Don't hold back.
We don't care about your feelings over here.
Right.
The truth is the truth. We will cry aloud. We're going to tell you to your face, you're a whore and a murderer. You've had 10, 15 abortions. You disgust me. Okay, the black woman, what's called, is a traitor to black men. We've been saying this for decades almost. What's called the black woman is the white man's lieutenant.
Right.
Keep going. Lift up thy voice like a trumpet. Going back to what I said. Why do you speak so loud? Keep going.
And shew my people their transgression.
And understand, when we speak loud, like soft speaking don't work on black people. Trust me, it does not work.
Right.
What's called, the way we have is tried and proven over thousands and thousands of years of tests on our people. Keep going.
And the house of Jacob their sins.
Show my people their transgression, in the house of Jacob their sins. Okay, keep going.
Yet they seek me daily.
So you keep going.
And delight to know my ways.
Now, what is that talking about? John.
People just naturally crying to the Most High, act like they believe in God. Like,
give me a little more.
They're doing whatever they want to do. Not even looking, like, not even trying to follow what he said. Just doing what you want to do. Act like you follow. Like, you know.
That's exactly it. Yet he's telling Isaiah, tell them what they're doing wrong, even though they all up in the church like Jesus, Jesus, Jesus. Like, I'm all in the church, Jesus, Jesus, Jesus. Can't wait to eat some pork. Can't wait to try to talk to a white woman.
Right.
Y'all in a church with a white pastor.
Right.
Y'all in the church holding hands with white congregants. Dylan Ruth Storm taught you nothing, I see. Okay? That's what this is talking about. Tell my people their transgressions. Give me Proverbs 14 and 12. Okay? And here's the problem. Women, the reason I'm bringing it out like this is because women don't understand. This is partially on them. Like, what's called, understand. Because of women, there's a weakness in that Christian church. You think a man honestly would let them sit there and let them reload? But the spirit of grandma is what prevailed in that church, where they'll sit there and let a white man reload his gun, like what, 3-4 times? Give me 14 and 12.
God.
Proverbs chapter 14, verse 12.
Now this is for your grandma. Keep going.
There is a way which seemeth right unto a man.
Your grandma thinks she has it the right way. It seems right to her, right? God loves everybody, right? Keep going.
But the end thereof are the ways of death.
Count, keep going. The end thereof, right?
Are the ways of death.
The end thereof is the ways of death. Your grandmother taught you, your grandmother followed after Martin Luther King, and Martin Luther King got her grandson Trayvon Martin shot.
Right.
Martin Luther King got her granddaughter Chandra Bland shot. What's called, your Christian pastor does not help you get your grandmother's medication. Your Christian pastor tells you to call AARP. Your Christian pastor tells you to call Medicare Part B. Your Christian pastor tells you to call everybody but him for your grandmother's problems. Okay, keep going. Okay, are the ways of death. Now drop that. Give me Isaiah 3 and 12. We're going to start to get a little more of the history on it. Now, here's what you have to understand about this is that what you have to understand is that our problems here in America are mainly caused by two main things, and you're going to find out what those are and what it truly means. Read it. Read Isaiah 3 and 12.
Isaiah chapter 3, verse 12. As for my people, children are their oppressors.
Okay, now who's the children? Keep going, keep going.
And women grew over them.
Who is the children? God. No. Who are the children? God. Brandon? Not in this instance. Who are the children?
So I would say those that would be considered like babes in the truth.
No. Babes in the truth are the ones oppressing us?
Well, because those that are ignorant in the truth are the ones that lead the Christian
Okay,
church.
well, a babe in the truth is somebody like you. You're a babe in the truth. Somebody who's just coming in. You're not oppressing anybody. Like, you're talking about an ignorant person. That wouldn't be a babe in the truth. Brandon.
Is he talking about the churches, the Catholics, Christians?
Give me a little more.
Preachers just confusing you and
Their children?
You said, are they children?
I'm asking you, are the pastors and preachers children?
Not in a.
I'm asking you, how are they children?
Because they're all children to the Most High. Everybody's.
You got to give me more than that. We're all children to the Most High, but how are they children?
Lack of knowledge.
Lack of knowledge. Well, that's the destroyer. How are they children? I'll give it to you. Paul said, when I was a child, I spoke as a child. Okay? Paul was what? What was Paul originally? Come.
Was Paul a Roman?
Paul was a Roman? Roman by what?
I believe he was a Roman.
Wait, repeat that again?
I said, did he believe he was a Roman?
No. No, wait. Let him answer it himself. We'll try to answer it. What do you think? What do you think? Did he believe you? You're saying you think Paul believed he was Roman?
Until he was shown better. I think
No. Paul was raised a Jew who had Roman citizenship. I'm an American, but I'm also a Jew with Americans. I'm a Jew, but I also have American citizenship. Okay. Well, Salih, what were you saying?
No, I was letting them know that he was a Benjamin.
Right, he's a Benjamite. Well, if anything, just raise your hand and I'll, yeah, come.
Salaki, sir.
So there's no procedure. No, it's too wild. Everything good, Charles? Yeah, kind of. Okay, so how's he a child? How is he? Con.
What scripture we at?
Isaiah 3 and 12. So who's the child? We kind of covered that. I kind of answered it already. I'm gonna see if y'all listening. Y'all paying attention. Who is the child? Con. Who's the child, Charles? Let's see if you can get it.
First, I spoke about people, the children out there in Texas. Children is talking about the Christian church.
Give me a little more. How is the Christian church children? You might want to give me a precept to make it really make sense.
Oh, Salakia.
Con.
Can we use the Martin Luther King scripture? I had a dream.
No. Where's the children in that?
Okay.
You want to use children? I'll give it to you since you know. Con, you want to try?
So, quick question: are we talking about literal children or figurative
No.
children?
We are not talking about literal children. Literal children do not oppress us. Okay? Well, in some instances, 13-year-old with a goddamn gun in your projects. Con.
I think he said he was a child because of how he spoke. He talked about because how the pastors are not speaking, they're preaching their own doctrine and not teaching the Most High's word.
Okay, yes. Okay, when I was a child, I spoke as a child. What did Paul start off as? Nobody knows what Paul started off as. Brandon.
A Gentile?
No.
A murder.
A what?
A murder.
No. What did Paul start off as? What did Paul start off when he was a literal child? I studied at the feet of Gamaliel, the high priest at the time. Paul was a Pharisee.
Oh.
Y'all have to remember these things, brothers. Paul was a Pharisee. These are the things you got to know if you're going to go out and battle something. Paul was a Pharisee. Okay? When I was a child, I spoke as a child. When I was one of the Pharisees, I spoke stupidly like the Pharisee. Right? Children are our oppressors. What does that mean? The Pharisees went around heavily taxing our people and tithing. The Pharisees went around trying to arrest Jesus for not washing his hands. That is oppression. Okay? Keep going.
and the women rule over them.
And then who is the one who helps these goddamn oppressors in slick suits and Rolls Royces on a pulpit? Women. Your woman makes it easier for you to, be destroyed by some pastor. And the evil part is, the pastor don't, this is all designed so that you can, you have to understand. Your pastor doesn't want you in the church. Your pastor may talk a good game. He don't want you in that goddamn church. At the end of the day, you're smart, your woman's stupid. He can tell your woman for the next 30 years, pray to Jesus for your problems. I give you my money for 5 years, and I don't see a return in my, let's say, investment. Yeah, I'm about to burn down your church. I am burning down your church, just like my house burned down. And when your church is on fire and you're crying, I'm going to laugh at you and say, pray to Jesus. We don't advocate violence. I'm just saying, hypothetically. This is what men will do. You can't do that to men. You could not gain men that way. So what do? You take silly women and lead them captive. Silly women that are laden with sin. Okay? And you get you get them to believe it. They'll give you tithe money. A man won't go for that. Okay? So a woman has to rule over you so that you don't actually get the backbone to try to fight me. To try to fight this child. Why is he calling them a child? Huh? Why is he calling them a child? Because they ain't from the beginning. They aren't the truth. The truth has been here from the beginning. Y'all just some Johnny-come-latelys. First Ebenezer Church of Mount Sinai is that was invented 50 years ago. The prophets of God have existed since Adam. You are not of them. You're just a child. Paul used to be a child. And when he was a child, he spoke childish things. He spoke as a child. Who the hell? He spoke as a child. Right? But now he became an adult. And he spoke as an adult. Keep going.
O my people, they which lead thee cause thee to err and destroy the way of thy paths.
They which lead thee cause thee to err and destroy thy path. Okay? And destroy the way of thy path. What does that mean? Your Christian pastor telling you about, Mother's Day is evil. He's destroying your mother. He's destroying you. Okay? Your Christian pastor doesn't go up and say, if you love your mother, give her grandkids. Don't abort that baby. What scripture? Isaiah 3:12. John. Okay, your pastor doesn't go out and say, stop selling drugs at your mama's house. But he will give you some goddamn circular with some pink roses on it and have your mama come in and give her little flowers and all that. Right?
Right.
But he won't tell you stop selling drugs about the house. He won't tell you take your mama to the goddamn doctor. If you're a cat who doesn't like taking his mama to the doctor, do it. Take off the time off work and take your mama to the doctor. Right. That's your job as a man. That's in the 10 Commandments. They don't teach that. Okay, brother, do you know what honor actually means in the 10 Commandments? Come on, brother.
Is it not just to respect and take care of?
No, huh?
It's not just to respect and take care of?
What do you mean by take care of?
Like eventually, if your parents don't get older, you got to be able to go do what they did.
That's all. It has nothing to do with respect. It only has to do with take care of. Your father can be a child molester who molested your little sister. You still have to pay for his nursing home. Okay? Now, I'm just using that because we had that question a while ago. We are bound to take care of our parents by the law. That's the law. You must take care of your parents in their old age. Okay? That's what this is talking about. Okay? The Christian church does not teach you this. Okay? They cause thee to err. And what does that mean? Who else? Speaking of which, who else didn't teach that? General Hyman just went over this like a week or two ago. The scribes and the Pharisees, who said, when Christ told them, when you say to tell people to tell their parents that anything you get from me is a gift. The scribes and the Pharisees did that. Okay? But then would have you push some goddamn Mother's Day. Okay? Keep going.
The Most High standeth up to plead, and standeth to judge the people.
And standeth to judge the people. Okay, what does that mean? He stands to judge the people. Keep going.
The Most High will enter into judgment with the ancients of his people.
The ancients of his people. Keep going.
And the princes thereof.
Meaning the elders and the people up top, they have a sore day coming. When Yahawashi returns. For Mother's Day. For the evils that are perpetrated in this holiday. And for the evils that are perpetrated by the belief in this holiday. No one gives a damn about their mother until Mother's Day. No one gives a damn about their mother on Mother's Day. Right. They just do it to keep up with the holiday. Okay? Now, we're going to get into the history of this holiday. The history of Mother's Day and where it comes from. Who can try to tell me where Mother's Day originally comes from? Nobody? Nobody has an idea. Khan.
Worshiping the Virgin Mary. Padawan.
Close. Close. A little further back. Khan. Who else? Nobody else? Khan. The Virgin Mary comes from RHEA worship. Who knows who RHEA is? RHEA. Anybody? Okay, who here has studied Greek mythology? You want to know these things. You want to study these types of gods because you'll find out a lot of these gods, especially the Greco-Roman ones, where a lot of our holidays come from. RHEA is the mother. Huh?
Y'all need that AC on?
Y'all need the AC on? Nah, sir. Count, sir. I'll turn it on. Okay, RHEA is the mother of the gods. Okay, she herself would be considered a Titan because it goes Uranus and Gaia, then Kronos and the Titans, and then the gods. RHEA is the mother of the gods. I'm gonna give you a little history just so we're all aware. RHEA is the mother of the gods, right? Basically, long of the story short, she's the one. Remember, everybody knows the story of Zeus, especially if you played that stupid game, God of War, or whatever. His father tried to kill him and his brothers, and he would eat them every time. And then the last time she gave him a rock, and then a horse or something like that. That was RHEA. The mother was RHEA. Okay? There's a holiday in Greek mythology to worship her. Okay? And we're going to get a bit of that holiday, and we're going to see where it came from.
Like I said, if I may, I was on YouTube, and officer he posted up a picture of a Edomite named Anna Maria Jarvis.
Yeah, we're going to get into her too. We're going to get into her too. She's also important. Mother's Day is a holiday honoring motherhood that is observed in different forms throughout the world. In the United States, Mother's Day occurs on Sunday, May 10th. The American incarnation of Mother's Day was created by Anna Jarvis in 1908 and became an official U.S. holiday in 2014. Jarvis would later denounce the holiday's commercialization and spent the latter part of her life trying to remove it from the calendar. And we're going to get into that because it shows you the spirit of this goddamn holiday. Selfishness. History of Mother's Day. Celebrations of mothers and motherhood can be traced back to the ancient Greeks and Romans, who held festivals in honor of the mother goddesses RHEA and CYBELE. Anybody who's familiar will know the Greek gods. Okay, understand Greece and Rome. It's not an exact comparison, but understanding Greece and Rome is like understanding Britain and America. Britain used to be the top dog. Then America came and became the top dog. But it's like we want to separate ourselves from the British, so we're going to change everything. We don't use centimeters, we use inches. Well, yeah, we don't use like meters, we use inches. Okay? We don't use pound. We don't use grams, we use pounds. We don't drink tea, we drink coffee. Greece and Rome was no different. We don't worship Zeus, we worship the Roman name for Zeus. We don't worship RHEA, we worship CYBELE. When you look up RHEA or CYBELE, it's the same exact God as RHEA, different name.
Come on, sir.
Okay? Who have festivals in honor of the mother goddess RHEA and CYBELE, but the clearest modern precedent for Mother's Day, and there's why I didn't say you were necessarily wrong, I said go back, is the early Christian festival known as Mothering Sunday. Okay? Once a major tradition in the United Kingdom and parts of Europe, the celebration fell on the fourth Sunday in Lent and was originally seen as a time when the faithful would return to their mother church. Okay? Okay, hold on one sec, Salakia. Gonna get a little more. With Mother's Day being celebrated, ancient Greeks used to hold an annual spring festival in honor of the mythological maternal goddesses. They used the occasion to honor RHEA, the Titan daughter of the earth goddess Gaia, which is where you get the word geo, like geography, geographic. Okay, and the sky god Uranus, which by classical Greeks was said to be the mother of the Olympian goddesses and gods, but not an Olympian goddess on her own. She'd be considered a Titan. That's how they considered her. In early tradition, the figure of RHEA was strongly associated with CYBELE, which was received as a rather foreign, exotic mystery goddess, who arrives in a lion-drawn chariot to the accompaniment of wild music, wine, followed by disorderly conduct and orgiastic dances. This is a free-for-all. This was a party. This was a rave. That's what Mother's Day comes from. Okay? Ancient Romans also celebrated spring festivals, which were dedicated to Magna Mater, Latin for Great Mother. Their form of CYBELE. The Romans developed a particular form of cult after an oracle recommended the conscription of CYBELE as a key religious component in Rome's wars against Carthage. The meaning and morality of her cults and priesthoods were disputed in both Greek and Roman literature. While her celebrations were notorious enough that Magna Mater's followers were banished from Rome, even the Romans did not deal with this custom for too long. Why? Because it was that filthy and disgusting. Okay? Early Christians also celebrated a Mother's Day of sorts during the festival on the fourth Sunday of Lent in honor of the Virgin Mary, the mother of Christ. Today, celebrations are expanded so as to pay tribute to all mothers, with various events taking place on the second Sunday of May in over 80 countries worldwide, thanking mothers for all their love and support. Okay, now we're going to get the history of American Mother's Day. Can somebody give me in the Apocrypha Wisdom of Solomon 14 and 12? Okay, now hold up, no, just hold it for a sec. More modern version. Okay, Salakia was first suggested in 1872. In the United States, Mother's Day was first suggested in 1872 by Julia Ward Howe, famous for writing the words to the Battle Hymn of the Republic. But it was a woman who was never a mother herself who led the campaign for national recognition of Mother's Day. Anna Jarvis held a ceremony in 1907 in Grafton, West Virginia, to honor Her mother, who had died 2 years earlier. Jarvis's mother had tried to establish Mother's Friendship Days as a way of dealing with the aftermath of the Civil War. Now, mind you, West Virginia, if I'm not mistaken, is the South. Okay? Meaning, she's worried about the aftermath of having to give up her slaves. Anna Jarvis began a campaign to create a national holiday honoring mothers. Right? She and her supporters wrote to ministers, businessmen, and politicians. And they were successful in their efforts. In 1910, West Virginia became the first state to recognize the new holiday, and the nation followed in 1914. When President Wilson declared the second Sunday in May to be Mother's Day, Jarvis used white carnations as a symbol for mothers because carnations represented sweetness, purity, and the endurance of mother love. Unfortunately, Jarvis became bitter over the commercialization of the holiday. She filed a lawsuit to stop a 1923 Mother's Day event and was even arrested for disturbing the peace at a mother's convention where white carnations were being sold. Jarvis never married and never had children. She died in 1948. So worried about the goddamn holiday, should have had some goddamn kids. Okay, so now we all understand. This was about her mama, right? We all understand this all happened because she wanted to pay homage to her mama. Who got Wisdom of Solomon 14 and 12?
God.
Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 14, verse 12. For the devising of idols was the beginning of spiritual fornication.
What does that mean? The devising of idols. What is fornication? Let's get that one first. Nobody knows? Shaw?
Worship another God, sir.
No. The definition, Salaki, I'm going to give it to you again. What is the definition of the word fornication? Or when you trace it back,
Unlawful sex acts?
An unlawful sexual action. That's exactly it. It has nothing to do with marriage. Okay, sex is marriage. So how can fornication be sex before marriage? Okay, fornication is unlawful sexual actions. Now, who can tell me what what fornication is in Hebrew? What is the word fornication in Hebrew? Who can tell me? If y'all don't know, it's a little advanced. Y'all can say y'all don't know. Everybody good off that one? Oh. Charlie, you look like you trying.
I don't know, sister.
Oh, you don't know? Brandon, you don't know, right? The Hebrew word is zanah. Zanah. Now, Charles, you are in a lot of Hebrew classes. What's one thing you can tell me about a lot of Hebrew words? A Hebrew word only ever just used once? But a Hebrew word could be used to describe a noun and a verb, right? Just like what's called fornication is zanah. Okay, when you look it up, you won't even see really fornication. It'll tell you whoredom. Zanah means whoredom or fornication. It can also just mean whore. Shalom, Salakia, cat's already in the back. Gansa. Okay, whoredom can also mean a whore. So what is this saying? Idol worship is the beginning of spiritual fornication. We understand spiritual fornication is basically, for lack of a better term, getting in bed with something. That's what fornication, basically that's how the Most High looks at it. You're getting in bed with white Jesus. It's the beginning of spiritual fornication. You're getting in bed with something or making a deal with something that is against what we got going on. Okay, that's the beginning of that. Keep going. Well, right where you were, spiritual fornication,
and the invention of them, the corruption of life.
And the invention of them, the corruption of life. The corruption of life. What does that mean? Goddamn. Come.
That when you start the when you start dividing all the idols and doing spiritual fornication, that's the corruption of life. It's starting to ruin your life.
Right. Meaning, what's called, when you start to deal with these idols, when you start to worship Mother's Day, when you start to worship Father's Day, when you start to worship, now understand, you're making your mother a god in honor of the goddess Maria, the Virgin Maria, in honor of RHEA, in honor of CYBELE. You are making your mother into a god.
Right.
The invention of them is the corruption of life. Okay? You put your love for a mother on a card instead of being righteous to your mother, instead of doing right by your mother, instead of obedience to your mother. As long as you have the card, you're in good standing for a year.
Right.
Right? Keep going. For neither, 13.
For neither were they from the beginning, neither shall they be forever.
This idol isn't permanent. Why am I getting a gift to something that's going to die? Now understand, because the cat was confused about this too. You can give your mama gifts. You can give your children gifts. Like how Nazariah was saying, the first year he came into the truth, he made a deal with his daughter. I think he said his daughter was around 8, 9. So after 8, 9 Christmases, and you say no more Christmas, you know what I mean? He said, after all this is over, middle of January, I'll take you to the store, buy you whatever you want. You could go picking and whatever. You're not getting anything on December 25th. That's what it is. Okay? You're doing it because, one, your oppressor says to, and two, you're doing it in service to a false god. Okay? That's what this all comes down to. Why isn't it in the winter? Why isn't it in the middle of summer? Why isn't it in fall? Why is it magically in the spring? Because that's when the pagans have always worshipped it. Notice, Reyes was in the spring. The Virgin Mary's worshipped in Lent. And then you have this newer one that just happens to be in May. They know exactly what they're doing. Okay? Keep reading.
For by the vain glory of men they entered into the world.
Cancer. Cancer. Keep going.
And therefore
for by the vain glory of men, keep going.
For by the vain glory of men they entered into the world.
What does that mean? The vain glory of men. Come.
Who man worshiping himself?
Okay. Yeah. What does it mean by vain glory? This man thinks he's so great and powerful that he has this power to do this. That he has this power to put this person on this pedestal. Whether it be himself, whether it be his son, whether it be or whatever. Now you're about to get, I kind of skipped over, but this verse right here, so you can keep it in your notes, is the explanation and birth for every false idol you will ever come in contact with. Keep reading.
And therefore shall they come shortly to an end.
Because they had no real purpose in this world, their end will be short. Like, who's ever heard of Dagon? Who really said, when's the last time you actually went on the street and somebody said, nah, I worship Baal? When's the last time somebody actually said, I worship Ishtar? Who worships Tammuz? Who worships Zeus? Right? Keep going.
For a father afflicted with untimely mourning.
What?
For a father afflicted with untimely mourning.
Keep going.
When he had made an image of his child soon taken away.
Now let's change this over. Let's flip the two. Instead of a father and a child, a mother, a daughter, and a mother. That's Mother's Day right here. This woman was so upset about her mother, she commissioned to have a holiday for all mamas. Right? That's what this is talking about. Now, who else is this talking about? And there's a prophecy. There's a prophecy for somebody in history. Who else is this talking about? Who else is this prophecy about?
So like I say, this is a prophecy of what?
There's a prophecy of somebody in history. I want to see if they can get it. If you don't know, you can try. You should be able to get it. Read it from the top then. 15.
For a father afflicted with untimely mourning, when he has made an image of his child soon taken away. Now honor him as a God.
Got it, Sean? What? You said Yahushua? Yahushua is worship as a God. Say it right.
Oh, so
Hold on. Select Charles. Because maybe I'm gonna guess that you said it wrong. What?
Caesar Borgia.
Caesar Borgia. This is a prophecy for Caesar Borgia. Obviously, the prophecy came to pass centuries later, but remember, this was written by Solomon, thousands of years before Christ would even walk the earth, telling you exactly how Caesar Borgia would work. Salakia, Charles. Salakia if I yelled like that. When you said Yahushua, I'm like, yeah, just Salakia. That is the only time, if I may, Salakia, if you could let Kat know I'm still teaching. If I could, that's the only time, like, because you know, Kat, like, don't like hearing the word Jesus. That is the only time I will accept Jesus, white Jesus. If you just say white Jesus, that's okay. There's no white Yahushua, just Yahushua. White Jesus or Caesar is acceptable. That's what this is talking about. Are y'all familiar? Caesar Borgia died young and his father made him Jesus. Yeah, that's what this scripture is talking about. Mind you, there's all idols. When you go and you do the deep research, you'll find basically every idol is some rich man or king's son who died prematurely, and then they had them worshipped as a god. Christmas comes from the goddess of Easter. Her son supposedly was killed by a boar. No one's sure of the exact story. The cat dies, supposedly was killed by a boar, so now his soul comes inside of a tree. And if you do not give gifts to that tree, the tree will destroy your house. And then also, in commemoration of him, you have to find a pig and kill that pig and eat the pig in memory of Tammuz. This is where all idols come from. Okay? Mother's Day is no different. They just slapped RHEA on it and said it was Mother's Day. They slapped CYBELE on it and said it was Mother's Day. Magna Mater, it's Mother's Day. Now, it's Christianity now. The Virgin Mary. Now it's everybody's mom. Okay? Which is all it's about. Marketing. Honestly, at the end of the day, to a point, it's about marketing. Okay, we can market it. That's why that's why the devil didn't like it, what it eventually became, because it became commercialized. Which you should have expected. You didn't think devils was gonna try to make some money off this? Or flowers and cards? This woman created Hallmark.
Right.
This woman right here created most of Hallmark's revenue for the year. I'd love to see a Hallmark's earning call. Okay? Keep going. Which was then a dead man. Right, keep going.
And delivered to those that were under him ceremonies and sacrifices.
Ceremonies and sacrifices. Meaning what? My son was killed on this day. You will take the tree and the pig and do what you have to do with it. What's called, you will honor my mother, the rabbit goddess, who came out the sky in an egg and hatched out the egg as a rabbit. You will honor her by going out collecting eggs and decorating the eggs and loving rabbits. You will honor my son Caesar by making him the image of Jesus everywhere. Okay? 16.
Thus, in process of time, and ungodly custom grown strong was kept as a law.
Meaning what? Caesar Borgia has become such a great thing. That is Jesus. In 1969, Ebony magazine posted an image of Black Jesus. droves of people sent them in pictures of a white Jesus to say, this is Jesus, not this black image. That's what that's talking about, becomes law. In process of time, an ungodly custom, grown strong, was kept as law. Keep going. And
graven images were worshipped by the commandments of kings.
And if our ancestors didn't worship these grave images, we were killed. Okay? That's what happened to us. Okay? Understand, the balls on the Christmas tree are originally heads of those who refuse to worship. Okay? Drop that now. Give me Deuteronomy 28 and 56. Okay? Now that we have an understanding of where this holiday comes from, I'm going to give you an understanding. Your mama don't deserve this holiday. Our women do not deserve a goddamn holiday. Neither do our men deserve a holiday. Okay? Okay, you got it? Who got it? 56? Kyle, you got it? Deuteronomy 28 and 56.
Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 56, or I can have it. The tender and delicate woman among you.
The tender and delicate woman among you, right? One of our sisters is supposed to be considered tender and delicate. Keep going.
Which would not venture to set the sole of her foot upon the ground for delicateness.
She wouldn't even dare do anything to set her soul on the foot for delicateness. Her soul on the ground for delicateness. Keep going.
And tenderness.
And tenderness. Keep going.
Her eyes shall be evil.
Shall be what?
Evil.
Shall be what?
Evil.
What does the black woman become in America?
Evil.
What is it? What is abortion?
Evil.
What is leaving your husband?
Evil.
What is calling the police on her?
Evil.
What is what's called using your child's credit?
Evil.
Keep going.
Toward the husband of her bosom.
Toward the husband of her bosom, read.
And toward her son.
Toward her son, right? That she's putting in a dress.
Right.
Right, like Gabrielle Union. That's not even her son, that's the evil thing. The actual mother is against it. But Dwayne Wade, because of his power and his influence in this earth, has the custody and is allowing that dragon, Gabrielle Union, to be evil towards her stepson, towards this woman's son. Keep going. And what else?
And toward her daughter.
She's teaching her daughter to be a whore. She's buying her daughter all these skimpy outfits, and you think you deserve Mother of the Year. No, you deserve a child neglect case. You deserve, what is it? What do they call it nowadays? ACS still? You deserve an ACS case for your daughter being in high school with a breast out. You deserve an ACS case for the destruction, but allowed for knowing full well 3 of your boyfriends have sexually molested your daughters from the age of 12, and you did nothing. You don't deserve flowers, you nincompoop.
Right.
You deserve a court case. You deserve to be under a jail. Okay? That's what you deserve. Keep going.
Verse 57. And toward her young one.
Her what?
Her young one.
Her what?
Her young one.
Keep going.
That cometh out from between her feet.
If they make it that lucky, if they get to come, well, they are going to come out between her feet because that's where they're going to do the abortion. But let's hope the baby's breathing. Let's hope it's 9 months and not 3 months. Okay? Keep going.
And toward her children, which she shall bear.
Now notice he makes a difference. The one that comes from in between your feet and the ones that you actually bear. Okay, the ones that you actually bear, you're going to be evil towards them. What does that mean? Keep going, it'll explain.
For she shall eat them for want of all things secret.
Stop. What does that mean? She shall eat them. What does it mean to eat? Come on. Give me a little more. Eat don't have to mean destroy. Son of man, eat this scroll. That's in the Bible. He didn't tell him to destroy the scroll. The scroll was the scriptures. Eat means to consume, to take in. What am I consuming with my child? Their credit. I'm going to put my credit in my 5-year-old's name. I'm going to buy a house in my 5-year-old. Me and my boyfriend are going to have some newcomer, but we don't have the credit for it, so we're going to use the 5-year-old's credit. Okay? What does that mean? I know, what's it called? I know full well that my husband is having sex with his stepdaughter, but he has a good job, and I need him in order to pay these bills. I can't take care of these kids and do all that, so I'll allow it. You're consuming your daughter.
Right.
You're destroying your daughter. You're right in that aspect. Because eating can mean to destroy, but it also has a spiritual aspect that you're consuming them and gobbling them up without any care of what you're doing. You think you can gain, you think it look, what's called, Gabrielle Union thinks that little boy looks so cute with some goddamn nails on him. She is destroying that boy.
Right.
Now, he come 19, 20, and now he's got AIDS.
Right.
You've destroyed that boy.
Right.
Okay? Now, forget about 1920, he got AIDS. 2 years, he'll meet a bad sister that he actually want to be with. Now you further destroyed his mind. Okay? Keep going. Secretly
in the siege and straitness.
Keep going. And this oppression in the ghetto. In oppression in the ghetto, you're going to destroy your children. Keep going.
Wherewith thine enemy shall distress thee in thy gates.
Wherewith thine enemy shall distress thee in thy gates. Okay, meaning what? Every problem that you're faced with, you're going to try to get out of it by destroying your children. That's what women do. And today's a day where yesterday was a day where our people want to ignore this. Right. Our people want to ignore the what's called incarceration rate, okay, which is mostly from single parent households, mostly women. If the black woman's so great, why can't you keep your son out of jail?
Right.
The black woman's such a goddess, you can't keep your son out of jail. You can't. The black woman's a goddess, but you can't keep your daughter on. But all your daughters are on stripper poles, talking about they need to go to college and they need money. I thought the black woman was a goddess. Here's what you are: a nincompoop who can open their legs.
Right.
That's all you are. Keep Salakia. Drop that. Give me Genesis 3:1. Yeah, give me Genesis 3:1. We about to end off. Okay, we're gonna get an understanding of this. Had a little more, but we ain't got time like that. 3:1. Quick.
Genesis chapter 3, verse 1. Now the serpent was more subtle than any beast of the field.
Now who's the serpent?
Who's the serpent?
Who's the serpent? Khan. Huh?
Other nation.
What other nation? I'll give it to you for time's sake. The serpent is the so-called white man.
Right.
Okay, when you go into Ezekiel 34, and I believe it's verse 8, I could be wrong, I'll get it for you. What's called the 34th chapter, it'll tell you we are what's called the beasts of the fields are nations. The most subtle beast on that in the field is the so-called white man. Right. Okay, that's what this is talking about. Keep going.
Now the serpent was more subtle than any beast of the field which the Most High, thy power, had created. I made it, Slaki.
Keep going.
And he said unto the woman, ye have God said, ye shall not eat of every tree of the garden.
Now stop. This is the serpent coming to test Eve, right? But here's what you find out about Eve. Read verse 2.
And the woman said unto the serpent, we may eat of the fruit of the trees of the garden. But the fruit of the tree which is in the midst of the garden, God hath said, ye shall not eat of it, neither shall ye touch it, lest ye die. What does that mean about Eve? Khan. She knew she didn't have no sense.
She wasn't stupid. She wasn't ignorant. She knew full well what she was doing. She knew we're allowed to eat any of this, but we can't eat any of that.
Right.
Keep going.
And the serpent said unto the woman, ye shall not surely die.
5.
For God doth know that in the day ye eat thereof, then your eyes shall be opened, and ye shall be as gods, knowing good and evil. And when the woman saw that the tree was good for food, and that it was pleasant to the eyes.
Now, meaning what? He knows that you will be shall be as gods. What is that talking about? That's a woman's want to be in power. Okay, a woman's want to have power that she has no business with. 2 million of our men are in prison, most of them in single family households. Why? Because the woman cannot have power over the house. It leads to our destruction. But silly women can be led away captive, right? That are laden with sins off to their own diverse lust. That's exactly what happened to Eve. She was given instructions and she went against those instructions. Now today, our women have to fight that same urge to be naive. What does naive mean? Break it down. Naive means to be near. Eve means Eve. Okay? That's what it's talking about. Now drop that. This is going to be the last scripture. 1 John 5 and 3. Keep going.
1 John chapter 5 verse 3. Or occupy it.
Come.
For this is the love of the Most High Power, that we keep His commandments, and His commandments are not grievous.
They're what?
And His commandments are not grievous.
Now we're gonna find out what love to God is, right? And understand, love to God isn't just love to God. That's how I want to be loved. Read that from the top.
1 John chapter 5.
Especially by my child. Keep going. Read.
For this is the love of the Most High Power.
What?
For this is the love of the Most High Power.
This is how you love God. Keep going.
That we keep His commandments.
That we what?
Keep His commandments.
That we what?
Keep His commandments.
Now let's apply this to your mama. This is the love you give your mama. Do what the hell your mama said to do. Don't go out running with them sluts. Don't go out selling drugs. Don't go out gangbanging. But what did we see all day? Yesterday. Nothing but gangbangers, the cats who have sex with whores and go to strip clubs, and actual whores and strippers kissing their mother with some goddamn flowers, talking about Happy Mother's Day.
Right.
And that's what we saw yesterday. Okay? This holiday has nothing to do. Matter of fact, go back to Timothy's and we're going to end it off with that. 2 Timothy 3 and 1. Or rather 3. You're about to end it right here. 2 Timothy 3. Rocky. Hate swords like this. Give me 2. Verse 2. The men shall be.
2 Timothy chapter 3 verse 2. For men shall be lovers of their own selves.
If you actually love your mama and love mamas, you would not sell anybody's child crack. That makes sense, right? You wouldn't be a gang member doing a drive-by knowing you could hit somebody's mother or hit some mother's child. Like, this makes sense to everybody? Like, if you love mothers, why are you taking away her child?
Right.
Okay, keep going.
Covetous.
Okay, you love your mama, you'll take the day off work. So without getting paid, so your mama can go to the hospital. Why? Because she took up that burden for you. Keep going. Boasters. You coming in there with the card, yet and still 2 weeks ago, you and your mama had the police all up in the apartment hallway. Why? Because y'all was fighting each other, fist fighting each other. The neighbors heard y'all down the hall, but it's Mother's Day now, so you're gonna put on a front. Keep going. Proud. What do our mothers honestly have to be proud for? 2 million of our sons are in prison.
Right.
Keep going.
Blasphemers.
It is an insult to the Most High, like I said earlier, the way our communities are structured. Because He gave us an order, and then what? As the scripture says, as As verse 5 says, having a form of godliness but denying the power thereof, they're denying the power thereof. They're in the church like Jesus will save us. Jesus gave you the answer to make sure your children don't go to jail. Keep that man in the house. And like, I'll finish it off. Like, you definitely got to get this one.
Disobedience.
What?
Disobedience.
What?
Disobedience.
Disobedient
To parents.
to parents. You don't listen to a goddamn thing your mama said. But because your oppressor said so, you're going to bring some flowers? How about this? You stay away from my house until you stop dealing with them white women.
Right.
Don't talk to me. Keep going.
Unthankful.
You don't give a damn about the fact that your mama really slaved over a hot stove. My mama was poor as hell. She did my wash my clothes personally in our kitchen goddamn sink. My mother's deceased right now, but anything I could do for that woman, I would. Because at the end of the day, I'm thankful for that.
Right.
And last but not least,
unholy.
Unholy. You don't try to separate yourself for the sake of your mama. All right, keep going. That's it. And with that, I pass the class over to police and officer Shaw.
Clap it up in the class.
Yeah, Slaki, you killed it? Nah. Make sure y'all stay tuned. Captain Nazariak will be live in a few minutes. Shalom. Slaki announcement so he could, or just courtesy.